Quaid Azam, Part 247. In reality, both the Congress and the government were now in a blind alley. Neither could they easily turn, nor was there any road ahead. The government held that unless the Congress categorically withdrew the Quit India movement, the government would neither release the leaders nor take any initiative for further talks about reforms. The Congress in turn demanded release first. In addition, a violent agitation launched just then by underground Congress socialists sharpened official animosities, greatly deepening the impasse. The principal British concern then was the proper conduct of Europe and Asia. The countrywide disturbances that followed this adoption of the Quit India resolution naturally, therefore, got interpreted by the British government, and significantly this time by too, as deliberate interference with the war, particularly when offensive operations against Japan were being organized with India as the main base and the source of supply. This feeling deeply influenced world opinion for months and distanced even such elements as had earlier looked positively upon India's freedom movement. Jawaharlal Nehru's views about standing up with the Allies wholeheartedly had been timely. The Congress resolution ill-judged both in timing and in content. Lord Linlithgow's viceroyalty. He was the viceroy, Lord Linlithgow. The three great difficulties that Lord Linlithgow's successors had to contend with were the establishment of the parity between the minority and the majority, putting the imprimatur of the British government on this breaking of India's political unity, and conceding to the minority an indirect right to veto any political advance in India or of India except on terms that the League found as convenient. As a record of the sabotage of Indian nationalist struggles, Lord Linlithgow term does perhaps excel that of any other viceroy before or after. The Federal Part of the Government of India Act 1935, which would have introduced the principle of responsibility at the centre, similar to that introduced in the provinces, had always worried Jinnah. Upon the representation, Lord Linlithgow accepted the Muslim League's demand, and on 11 September 1939 he announced the preparation in connection with the introduction of federation would remain in suspense until the end of the war. This was hailed by Jinnah and Working Committee of the Muslim League, which adopted a resolution just a week later, on 18 September, appreciating this suspension and expressing the hope that federal scheme would be abandoned altogether. The Congress Party's stand about India's participation in the war had greatly exasperated the Conservative coalition government in Britain. Also, the bureaucracy in India, headed by Lord Linlithgow, consequently the Raj, then did everything possible to help and strengthen the Muslim League and offset the Congress, as for example in Bengal and Sindh, and also in Assam. In Bengal, for example, Fazlul Haq, who was heading a coalition ministry commanding the confidence of the legislature, was forced to resign in March 1943. On pain of dismissal, a League ministry under Nazimuddin was installed in its place. The governor allowed Nazimuddin to strengthen his position by raising the number of ministers to 13 with an equal number of parliamentary secretaries, whereas Fazlul Haq had been denied permission to expand his cabinet of 8 by the addition of 2 scheduled caste members.